This is DG Vision Network.
Last week, we took an in-depth look at the Nigerian Startup Bill. On today's edition, we'll be focusing on the startup ecosystem in Nigeria in the view of the dominance of foreign investment and what it portends. And keeping up with the team, we'll be speaking with Ayowande Adelemo, the co-founder of Founders Institute, who is our guest of the week. Not to forget about our top fives, where we will be looking at the top 5 future transportation technologies. But before all that, let's check out the latest tech news and development that made rounds during the week.
Nigerian Postal Service (NIPOST) is working with the National Population Commission (NPC) for seamless rollout of all digitized postcodes for the country. Consequently, the two agencies have begun enhancing the initiative, leveraging technologies and deploying necessary systems via a systematic framework of alphanumeric characters from state, local government areas, postcode districts, areas and units. The NPC made it emphatic that a postcode system was a prerequisite for the 2023 census. The Postmaster General of NIPOST, Dr. Ismail Adewusi, said the collaboration with NPC would open a new channel towards improving address system in the country and ensure all Nigerians are captured.
With the cooperation and support of the National Population Commission, we embarked on the process of enhancing the postcode, leveraging technology. We drew up entities in a manner that ensures every part of the country is effectively captured, using a systematic framework of alphanumeric characters from the states, local government areas, postcode districts, postcode areas, and postcode units.
NPC Chairman Nasir Isakwara expressed the Commission's support for the initiative and added that data collected by the NPC over the years will assist NIPOST in executing the new projects.
For continuity and sustainability, we will issue certificates and basic GIS to participants today. We look forward to a mutually rewarding relationship between both organizations and our country, Nigeria. I wish to thank the Postmaster General and the NIPOST management and staff for the trust and the confidence invested in the Commission to drive this project and to provide the primary data set that will serve as the base data to build up upon in order to drive this project and to create a proper addressing system for our dear country, Nigeria. May I at this juncture assure you of our continued support to this project for the benefit of Nigeria and the globe generally.
Information and Communications Technology magazine, eBusiness Life Communications Limited, hosts young girls to celebrate the 2022 edition of the International Girls in ICT Day campaign in Nigeria. The hybrid event, which held in Lagos, is part of an annual campaign initiated by the International Telecommunications Union (ITU) to sensitize and encourage young women and girls to delve into ICT and related careers, which have been dominated by the male gender. The 2022 theme will be central to expanding horizons, changing attitudes, artists, and safety. The Chief Executive Officer of eBusiness Life Communication and convener of the event, Mrs. Ufoma Emufadao, in her welcome address, explained that the low involvement of females in STEM-related field is not only a Nigerian issue, but a global one, and the event seeks to rid stereotype of women and increase the opportunities of women in STEM.
I want us to be encouraged that this is not restricted to Nigeria alone. It's a global thing, and that is why the ITU, a global body, decided to set out this day to encourage women to see why they should go into the fields of technology. It is true that there's still a gender gap. Yes, but things are changing rapidly. I think this campaign has, to a large extent, even our own little campaign here, the one done by eBusiness Live, I have quite some mails from students like you that come here. You know, in SS1, some know exactly what they want to do. Some don't even know where they are going. And by the time they hear elegant women speak, because some people believe that for you to be an engineer, you have to be a nerd. but it's not so.
In attendance at the occasion was the Executive Vice Chairman, Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, Professor Umar Garba Dambata, who was represented by the head of NCC Lagos office, Tolulashe Omodele Rufai. In his address, the EVC said girls and women will become valuable assets if included in ICT education and careers.
The Girls in ICT Day recognizes the critical role girls and women play in ICT and serves as a reminder that girls and women will become invaluable assets if included in ICT education and careers.
Representatives from ICT companies, Nine Mobile, Globalcom, and Access Bank were also at hand at the event to encourage young girls who were drawn from 14 secondary schools from Lagos to be diligent in their studies, while highlighting the benefits of STEM careers. Other highlights of the event included quiz competitions and awards presentations, among others. The National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, issued the alert in a statement on Monday that Russia's invasion of Ukraine may trigger cyber attacks in Nigeria and elsewhere. Hadiza Umar, head of external relations, said the war had increased attacks on businesses and government organizations. The spokesperson said there's a greater danger for countries doing business in or with the two nations. Those that may be affected are nations, companies, or countries that effect sanctions or intervene in the crisis. NITDA's Computer Emergencies Readiness and Response Team urged ministries, departments, and agencies to take precautions. They were asked to tighten their cyber defenses and perform due diligence to identify indicators of malicious activities.
This is DG Vision Network. Remember, you can always stay in touch with the latest developments on ICT, business, and innovation by visiting our website www.dgvisionnetwork.com and subscribing to our YouTube channel www.youtube.com/dgvisionnetwork. You can also follow us on the social media handles displayed on your screen. Now, words cannot describe the remarkable work our young and entrepreneurial minds are doing in the startup space and the volume of investment it's pulling, most of which are foreign investments, which accounts to over 85% of investments. So the big question is, why aren't there more local investors in the startup space? And what does this significant volume of foreign investment mean for the ecosystem and the economy at large? Our special report for today takes a look at these issues. Foreign investors continue to dominate investment activities in the Nigerian tech ecosystem, accounting for 87.7% of a total of $293.23 million raised across 28 deals in the first half of 2021. Data compiled by TechPoint Africa found that Nigerian investors contributed only 1.6% of the deal, and deals where local and foreign participated accounted for 10.7%. Startups in the financial services industry, known as fintech, in typical fashion as they have done in the last couple of years, led the funding activities, generating $271.61 million, which represents a whopping 92.6% control of the total investment. Despite the bad shape of the Nigerian economy, investors continue to see it as the next frontier for tech investment, as its large population remains a strong premise for expecting return on investment, and startups in the country are considered well positioned to take their solutions to other parts of the continent. In 2020, startups in the country owed 71.2% of their investments to foreign funders. The investors accounted to $85.8 million out of the approximately $120.6 million that Nigerian startups raised throughout the year. Speaking with DigiVision Network, Yele Okeremi, CEO of Precise Financial Limited, highlighted the issue with dominance of foreign investment in the Nigerian startup space.
So, for instance, today, and we talk about them, so we see the founders and we see unicorns that we spoke about. I think there are now 4 of them or so out of Nigeria. So the first question you're going to ask me is, these unicorns, True. Smart Nigerians. Where's the money? How much of these monies are developing this country? Secondly, how many jobs are they able to create? And when you begin to unpack these questions, you realize that indeed, yes, they are Nigerians, but they've been captured by foreigners. Take a look at all of them. I don't know per se, but my head tells me that all of them have their companies incorporated outside of Nigeria to start with. So the tax benefits, huge ones, actually go, and then capital benefits actually go to those places. And I actually guarantee you, I can make a guess here, that 100% of them have homes.
In the last decade, 81.3% of investment in West Africa came from non-African countries, with the US being the chief investor. Some analysts have stated low appetite for risk as what has been the issue with local investors, but a closer look shows the problem is more systematic.
I think there are challenges with local investors in startup space, and I think a lot of it is because, structurally speaking, it hasn't been possible. So if you think about up until 2020, Bofia, banks were not allowed to invest. Banks were not allowed to invest in startup companies, right? They couldn't issue venture capital. And that's a big company, a big source of capital. Also, people were not sure about the exits until certain companies showed that it was possible for you to actually make money in startups. And then there were many other challenges, including maturity of the market and so on and so forth. But I think the tide's starting to change, and a lot of local investors are now looking to invest.
Other than the benefits of retaining returns in the country, there still exist added advantages local investors bring to the table.
Global investors can open your eyes to global opportunity because they know people everywhere in the world. They can show you what other people did, how it went, and so on and so forth. But the beauty of local investors is they can help you with problems global investors don't have a clue about. Local context, local regulation, local customers. They bring you a lot of context that is often missing with the global guys.
While some analysts continue to fret about the dominance of foreign investment in Nigerian startup space, to some quarters there is a bigger and brighter picture to this trend.
Pro-Nigerian, and I'd always want Nigeria first before anything. But you see, I also have a problem with Nigerian entities. We are so focused on everybody being CEO rather than us building big businesses. So Main One is now part of a larger conglomerate, a larger group, a larger business that the resources of the big company can then feed into Main One and make Main One stronger and better. That is what we want. We want multiple companies that are as big as MTN. We want several MTNs in the logistics space, even in the electricity space, Discos, Gencos. We want companies that are that large, which are, have the power of, or the financial resources of a Dangote Cement, for instance. We want companies like that across board. So for me, when I see foreign capital coming, I'm excited about it because it means that those companies get bigger, they get larger, they have more capacity to employ more people. They have larger capacity to create, new sectors, new areas for people to invest in. But it also means that the economy is better for it. And eventually it means that people who then exit those businesses can then go and set up other businesses and then get bigger as they grow into the future. So for me, I don't see a problem with it. Let money that is coming from wherever come. If we don't have the money, which we do, I know we have the money here, but if we don't want to invest in the businesses, somebody has to. And if it will start from the foreigners, so be it.
The line between local and foreign venture capitals is getting blurry as several local investors are also reportedly managing investment portfolios for several foreign venture capitals. Industry experts are expressing optimism regarding the future of local funding in the Nigerian startup ecosystem, since new startups will require seed funding from local venture capitals to see them through the early stages of their existence. We'll also need paths to the local market, which local venture capitals can also help provide.
Bayero Agabi, welcome you to this new ride, a digital ride that takes you into the lifestyle experience of innovation, tech impact, and new business frontiers. This is DG Vision Network. On a weekly basis, we keep you well informed of developments and trends. Now the tech ecosystem is impacting politics, business, public and private enterprise management, plus how the new digital life can transform your business. I am Bayero Agabi. Join us.
You are still watching DG Vision Network. We are living in the 21st century, the age of technology. It's no secret technology have impacted every aspect of our lives, and transportation is no exception. While most countries continue to battle with bikes and tricycles on the road, most progressive nations are making remarkable strides in transportation with the aid of technology. So our top 5 for today, we are looking at the top 5 future transportation technologies that will shake the world. Technology brings the ultimate revolution in the transport industry. It will be an interesting and exciting phase for the transportation industry. With every rising day, new future transportation technologies are finding their way into the transport industry. On today's top 5, we'll be looking at the top 5 future transportation technologies that will shake the world. At number 5, autonomous cars. Autonomous cars will overwhelm the exciting automotive industry, making its biggest and most breathtaking chance since it was first introduced in the early 20th century. Slowly and gradually, people are getting used to self-driving things, as autonomous cars are said to be safer than human-powered cars because it can overcome human errors. Recent developments in cloud computing and emergence of technologies such as AI and IoT have turned autonomous cars from a vision to current reality, as so many companies have announced they will be launching autonomous cars, and test drives of these cars are already on the way. Companies like Tesla and Waymo are already forefront of the autonomous revolution. Recently, Drive AI, a Silicon Valley-based startup developing self-driving car software, announced it would offer free rides to passengers in Frisco, Texas. At number 4 is last-mile robots. Transportation technology isn't just about moving people. It may also contain the technology that helps get our packages and products from point A to point B. One of the greatest advances in transportation technology for the shipping industry is last-mile robotics. Instead of relying on delivery driver or postal workers to deliver the item to your doorstep, companies are now using robots to traverse cities and glide down sidewalks to deliver your package right to your front door. Amazon and FedEx are currently using robotics in certain cities to deliver packages within few kilometers of their fulfillment center. And Domino's Pizza are using robots to deliver their pizza orders on time. At number 3 is Hyperloop. Hyperloop, as the name suggests, is a sealed pipe or pipe system through which a pod can be moved free of air resistance or friction in order to move people or objects at high speed. Tesla and Hyperloop One are two of the largest companies developing Hyperloop. Hyperloop is one of the most widely used technologies in transportation. It is a tube that uses physical properties of a vacuum to transport users from one place to the other. At number 2, magnetic levitation trains. Magnetic levitation trains, called maglev trains for short, hover about 4 inches above their tracks and are powered by electrically charged magnets. The drivers claim the trains are exceptionally comfortable and stable. Maglev trains have been recorded to travel at speed of 375 miles per hour. Maglev trains are already in operation in China and Germany and are expected to be a widely used mode of transportation around the world by 2030. And the number 1 is flying taxis. Flying cabs seem straight out of a science fiction novel or fantasy of a human mind, but the flying cab project is as realistic as it gets. Big companies like Uber, Boeing, and Airbus have already started developing this technology. Whether it's a startup or large company, flying taxis will be the future of transportation industry. Uber has announced it will develop flying taxis with support from NASA by 2023. Uber's goal is to build a flying taxi that is electrically powered and that will take passengers to their destination. An example of such flying taxi is the Volocopter, an autonomous aircraft powered by electrical energy. Volocopter is currently being tested in Dubai. Under the agreement between the two, Uber will share its plans to implement a ride-sharing center for urban aviation. NASA will use the latest airspace management computer models and simulation to assess the impact of small aircraft, from delivery drones to passenger aircraft with vertical takeoff and landing capabilities in crowded environments. Those are the top 5 future transportation technologies that will shock the world. Don't forget to join us next time for another interesting edition of Top 5s.
This is AIT Infotech Network, reaching you from Freetown in Sierra Leone,
Accra, the Ghanaian capital, Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, Johannesburg in South Africa.
we are in Cairo in Egypt,
Tunis, the Tunisian capital,
Cape Town in South Africa.
reaching you from Dubai, Hanover in Germany,
Live from Chicago.
Las Vegas in the United States of America, Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, we are in Beijing, China,
in London, England.
I am Bayero Agabi. Join us.
Thank you for staying with us. Up next is our guest of the week, who is the co-founder of Founders Institute, Ayewande Adelemo. He speaks with Mojisola Alabi on the challenges as well as opportunities of startups in the country. Enjoy the conversation.
Thank you, Mr. Ayewande Adelemo, for joining us today. We are glad to have you. We are glad to have you. Most people are quite curious still. What is Founder Institute really all about?
Okay, so you just mentioned something now that a lot of startups are created in Nigeria, and we've not seen any significant effect on that, of their creation.
Yeah.
And there are 2 key factors for this. Number 1 is infrastructure. When we say infrastructure, we mean infrastructure in every single sense of the word of infrastructure. Social infrastructure, economic infrastructure, funding, infrastructure support funding. But the second thing, which is very critical thing, is the ability to think critically. So most of the startups we have in Nigeria do a lot of copy and paste. They see a solution, they copy and they paste it, and then it doesn't work here. So at Founder Institute, you can't do copy and paste. It's a 14-week program that allows you, that pushes you into the market to understand what the market fundamentally needs and whether your idea will work or not. So in 14 weeks, you will know whether you succeed or you won't succeed, which is why we have a high dropout rate, which is very deliberate, so that only potentially high founders will come out. Our success rate globally for all of our founders in the more than 90 countries we are is about 70% success rate. That is a flip of the coin from the 90% failure rate that you have in startups, because it's a rigorous program that allows them to see firsthand in the market whether their product is acceptable or not, and they can quickly pivot. So honestly, is like the MBA for startups.
Thank you very much for that. Digital technology solutions for Nigerian market are quite increasing rapidly. Do you think they are ready for the global market?
So when we say the global market, there are certain nuances that Nigeria has not been able to catch up with. So let's go back a bit in history. The first industrial revolution, right? We probably might excuse ourselves for not being part of that first industrial revolution. We may even excuse ourselves for not being part of the second industrial revolution. Again, slavery and all of those things were played out, and we were the losing end of that bargain of the industrialization of Europe. We were at the losing end because, again, our leaders, as usual, also partook in that act. So you can't blame Europe for what happened in Africa, really, because we were actively involved in slave trading ourselves. So we didn't catch those first 2 trains. The third industrial revolution is gone. America, Europe, and China and Asia leads those revolutions. Now that machine and humans are fusing together, what is known as the fourth industrial revolution, we still are not catching up with it. Number one, we don't even have broadband availability. So when you design anything digital, you cannot go global because already there are thousands of those kind of solutions that have been available towards the end of the second industrial revolution into the third industrial revolution, well established, and now they're just ensuring that they innovate for the fourth industrial revolution. Industry 2.0, Industry 3.0 has come and gone. So we are not even catching up with, our economy is still based on what was discovered in the 1800s, oil. That's what our economy is still based on. The biggest businesses we have are not digital businesses in Nigeria. They are businesses that sell sugar, rice, food. And that tells you that the copy and paste model of most of the digital solutions we have will not help us. I don't think a lot of them will scale. However, when you look at people like Cover 360, when you look at people like Thank You Cash, those who have, you can see a level of critical thinking in what they're doing. They're looking at the market and asking themselves, do I need an app because I want to go global? Or do I need an app because I want to solve a local solution? When you solve a local solution very well, then global issues that represent that solution in Vietnam, in Afghanistan, in Kenya, in Somalia, will call you to come and say, hey, we have that same problem here. Can you use your solution to solve our problem? Then you begin to go global. If you don't solve the local solution, so I tell a lot of startup founders, don't develop smartphone solutions for Nigeria. How many smartphones do we have really? Less than 25% of the market for phones are smartphones. So who are you developing that solution for? How many people, our per capita GDP is less than $2,000 US. Statistics will even tell you it's $2,440 here, and that shows you're very poor. But the potentials are there.
Thank you so much for your time today and your contribution, Mr. Ayowande Adalemo.
This is DG Vision Network.
That was Ayowande Adalemo, co-founder of Founders Institute. Hope you enjoyed that conversation with Mojisola Alabi. Don't forget to follow us on the social media handles displayed on your screen and subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/DGVisionNetwork. On this note, on behalf of our regular anchor, Bayero Agabi, is bye for now. My name remains Princely Momodu.